This is a presentation on a regularly held City Council meeting for the City of Yukon, Oklahoma on the night of August 7, 2012. The meeting started out with an invocation, which might seem strange to some, but in this part of the country, most people recognize a higher power apart from local, state, or federal government, and so a prayer is offered at the beginning of most meetings. The next item of business was addressing the flag and saluting it and reciting the Pledge of Allegiance, at which point the roll call was done where the city clerk calls roll for all city council members present. Once a quorum is established, meaning at least 3 city council members are there, they move on to a part in the meeting where they basically recessed as a city council and reconvened as the Yukon Municipal Authority, made up by these same members. This is basically just a separate entity that controls the water and sewer and sanitation departments, and as a separate entity has slightly less scrutiny in the budgeting laws and have a little bit more flexibility. At this point in the meeting, there is a consent docket which allows several items that are not expected to have discussion with them to be grouped together. For this particular meeting, those items were unanimously approved and no items were chosen to be separated. Moving on, there was 3 separate items that were discussed, all of which were voted on and approved unanimously, including the purchase of a couple semi-trucks, money approved for remodel of a sanitation building, and also money approved to be spent for some fire fitness equipment. At that point, the YMA portion of the meeting is over and the City Council reconvenes. They go through a similar process of a consent docket, which was unanimously approved, followed by individual items that might need to be discussed separately. All of these were also unanimously approved. Some interesting items in the separate items that involved some federalism aspects and some joint efforts with other governments. There was an agreement with a neighboring city, Oklahoma City actually, that allowed both parties to work on the relocation of a water well. That was approved. And there was also a motion to approve some money to team with the county, which is Canadian County, in which Yukon is situated, to team up and build or improve a road that lies in both jurisdictions. Another main issue on this particular council meeting was the approval of the bargaining agreement with the local firefighters union. That was approved unanimously, and both parties seemed happy about that. Once all of these approvals were done, the city manager reports on items that he believes are important. These items are not discussed at this time, simply a report is given by the city manager. For this meeting, these included a report on the fact that the city had contracted with an auditing firm to do auditing work, which happened to be the same firm that had done it last year. There was a report on the progress of a storm shelter grant that came from FEMA and the progress on paying out to citizens of Yukon for that grant, as well as a report on the construction of the fire station, which has recently been completed, a $7 million project, and the grand opening of that. There's some water rationing going on because of the drought in this particular summer. That was reported on, as well as some renovations to City Hall, which included a new dome on top of the existing structure. Following Following that, there's an option for new business if there's some emergent item that happens. There was none. There's an option for council members to discuss anything they want to, and then the meeting was adjourned.